There we go.
Okay, welcome everyone. Open session at planning, this is where we'll welcome members of the public, so I think we move on from that one. Item 98, as you've just seen, this has been recorded to the YouTube channel. Does anyone else wish to make another recording? Item 99, accept apologies for absence.
We've had one apology and reason for absence, which was circulated earlier this evening from Councillor Lyle.
Are you okay with that?
Yep.
Okay. Item 100, to receive members and officers' personal and disclosable pecuniary interest in items on the agenda.
Yeah. I've got three, all relating to planning applications. Planning application 02, 06 and 07. The first two are the agents I've worked with in my previous life. And 07, the technical college, technically Home First Tech, I'm the shareholder. I will vacate.
Anyone else got any? No. Item 101, consider written request for new BI dispensations.
Nothing received.
There you go. Item 102, do we wish to consider any items on the agenda to be discussed in private session? Nothing right. No, okay. Item 103, confirm the minutes of the previous meeting on the 10th of November.
I've got some updates from previous minutes. One to say we have discussed finding an alternative for Zoom so that I don't need to log you in at the moment. I'm still researching this a little bit. The initial recommendation seems to be either Teams or Google Workspace, which allows. I would gladly accept recommendations from our IT expert over there.
IT expert? I'm definitely not an IT expert, but I did have a Zoom meeting with some of my old university friends last night all over the country. And if you're just a general person who's got a Zoom membership or whatever like that to log in, you get 40 minutes free. These meetings don't take 40 minutes, do they?
I would say that there's a couple of problems with it. Is that if you get the free account, you can't get the recording. And we want the recording.
Do we need the recording? Really? Okay.
I think for transparency purposes, I think that's what we sort of agreed on really, and that's the sort of the main problem with doing it that way. Otherwise, it would probably be okay. The problem that we've got is that it needs two-step verification if you move it, if you're letting somebody else log in your account, or the other alternative is to delegate a host. But on Zoom, if you delegate a host, you need to delegate it to someone who also has a paid account, so we have to pay for two accounts. Yes. So what I'm looking into is there a cheaper way of doing it? But I mean, two accounts isn't outrageously expensive, but it would have to be the same paid account every time. So if ever, say Councillor Ransley needed to step in as vice chair, if you were away or anything like that, that's a third account that we've got to pay for then as well. So I'm looking into it. I know nobody likes Teams. But it is very compatible with everything else we use. Well, I'm quite keen as well, but I think.
All music, I think it's.
You've logged on it, so doing it.
So I will continue to look, but the sort of main players in that space are Google, Microsoft, and Zoom.
Ask the IT people in Kirklees. Do you get any support from them?
We don't get any support from them.
Okay.
We're independent of Kirklees.
I was just thinking with like our email account, if you've got a problem, you contact somebody in Kirklees, isn't it?
No.
No? What was that? What was that fella?
Vision ICT.
No, he's not Kirklees.
Couldn't be into it.
I mean, I can ask them, but
Or do they use anything, Kirklees? What do they do there?
Quite used to
I
Teams.
would expect them to use Teams. I know that they have, a friend of mine works for Coakley's and they do have the 365.
It is, I
Which
use, yeah, I do use that for my Curly stuff.
Yeah.
There's
It's
Google.
Teams, it's on
There's Google as well, isn't there? There's Google you can use.
Yeah, so that's
There's
the
another
other
company I
one.
was working with were using that, but I wasn't a huge fan of that.
Yeah, I think the one that's going to provide the most sort of synergy with what we're already using would be Teams, and we are looking at using SharePoint and kind of tying in our IT around that as well at the moment. But if people find it, I know that Apple users are finding it more difficult. Apparently it has improved over the last couple of years to how it used to be. I don't know if that makes any difference to
I
you.
don't know what it is. I mean, I couldn't get it on my Apple Mac. This was last week.
Oh, right,
Teams
okay.
meeting. I couldn't get it on this laptop,
Right.
which is Windows.
Yeah, that
Should
should
not
be
get
fine
that.
then, yeah.
And I finished up on my iPad. So I was laying in bed on it. Meeting on my iPad.
If you're in Windows, you should be able to.
Yeah, that's what I
So
thought.
I don't
Should
know.
work on this. But
I mean, I think
Might
it's
be.
certainly improved, I think Teams has certainly improved,
Mm.
running using it, for a while with Kirklees, and, yeah. Yeah, because it used to be a tendency to drop you or drop out, really. The Zoom
Yeah.
one was easier to use, but
Sometimes the way that you can view galleries and things on a screen, on a smaller screen in particular, was very difficult with Teams as well. It would only show you two faces at
and I
once.
think it's probably the only way.
I guess it's what you get used to as much as
Yeah.
anything, isn't it?
I use Teams every day at work and I've done for years, and it's always been pretty good.
Anyway,
So I will.
looking like Teams.
I'll put things forward to you. We can maybe try out a couple of different ones on a trial and see if that's a good idea. Okay, cool. Let's try some stuff. See how it goes. Other updates. You remember from last time there was some information from a resident about the bin situation at the cheese shop. I've had a little bit of back and forth with Councillor Cook about it, along with the resident. I've put them in touch and they're sort of talking to each other now, basically. But the end of it seems to be rather than send out the reams of pages, the end of it seems to be that the bit that they rent, it's part of the pavement, but there's a section of it that is sort of delineated by some sort of line of rivets that is their land, and if they want to put a bin on it, unfortunately they can put a bin on it.
They occasionally put a van on.
I was going to say.
Well, they can't put a van on it apparently, because they have to drive across the pavement to get there, so they have been told about that, and that shouldn't be happening anymore.
That's interesting.
It was only yesterday.
Oh, right, okay.
It's not long since I've seen it there, so.
But that was they can't park there,
I think they seem to be making a point of, this is ours. and we'll-
yeah, I have seen a little market in that same space actually, which is seemingly a slightly better use of the space, but that's been passed over now, and I don't know if there's anything anybody wants me to follow up with it, but it does seem to
Yeah.
be okay. And the final update that I had was, you'll remember that Jen and I attended the public inquiry about the width of Waterstones 60 path earlier in July. That wasn't the one that we commented on as parish, but we went more as a kind of learning exercise. Had a notification through back end of last week to say that they are reopening that public inquiry, and it will be because of new evidence that the opposing group have put forward, and it will be on the 17th of February at 10 o'clock in Huddersfield. I haven't talked to Mark about this yet, but I don't feel like we need to go this time because we weren't involved in this one anyway. But I think it will mean that the other one, which was about the diversion, which we were involved in as parish, will be potentially delayed until all of the summing up and the results of this one have come out. There haven't been any results of this previous one yet, so it's just a notification to say it's been reopened.
Okay.
And that's it for me.
Thank you, Gemma. Can we, sorry.
Just something in the minutes you made when I was reading it, it looks a little bit odd, so,
Hang on a minute,
252684, Peak District National Park Authority, so point 1 is no new or amended applications were received, and then point 2 is the committee considered new or amended application, obviously we don't have any to consider, so it just looks a bit, just looks a bit strange.
There wasn't one last time, was there?
No.
There was, there's one this time, there was one, it was either last time or it may have.
No, there wasn't, well, because the first point says no new amended applications were received, and then the second point says we considered there's a new or amended
That's we
application.
considered that there weren't any.
Yeah, we confirm.
What are the if I just could put the wrong dates in, because the
No,
first
no,
one
no,
would be
no, it's always-
updated comments, and the second point would be anything new that's come in.
It says new or amended applications, so you could say that we would, no, we haven't considered anything. But it's on the agenda here, isn't it, so it's there.
Yeah, we didn't consider anything, it's just it's redundant, point
Okay.
2 is redundant, really.
There was
I
one
think
last
it was a
time.
cut and pasted,
There was one last time.
wasn't it?
I sent it off to Phil, and there's one, because it's in here is updated.
Well, what, either 1 or 2 mustn't.
Yeah.
1 or 2 is
I haven't
possibly,
got,
it's possibly erroneous, so.
I'll double check them, but what it should say is that none were received the time before to have updated comments, but some were received in that one.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, it's,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, fine, it's fine, just leave it.
I'll check the wording.
Just leave it.
Well, on this one, it says no list of applications received from blah, 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 30th of September to 2nd of
Yeah.
December.
Yeah.
So therefore, there must have been one,
There was one last
Yeah.
time.
otherwise we wouldn't be noting the list, would we? And then the next part is to consider new or amended applications.
So there was one last time, and there is one this time. Like buses, you don't have one for a year.
Apart from that,
Fine.
are we okay with the minutes? Okay? Everyone all right?
I'll double check the wording.
No, I think it's fine.
What have we got to? 104 Kirklees planning applications. So we're noting the list of Kirklees planning applications updated with the views of the committee. And we're noting the list of Kirklees planning applications, again, updated with the views of the committee. So those are the last two meetings, presumably.
Yeah.
And then 2, to consider new or amended applications received from Kirklees up to 6th of January 26 in the list closed. So here we go, we'll just get there.
I might have to shout out the numbers of which that you're doing.
Right, number 2 is the first one.
Yeah.
This is
Oh, I think this will be.
this one of yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we do all Steve's in order and then you can come back in?
Which one's you, Steve? You're number 2?
2, where are we? 6 and 7. Wander off.
Okay, this is Builders Yard in Honley, demolish existing building and erect. It's in Green Valley and it's a new build.
It's a bungalow, isn't it? Let's look at it. I didn't look at, I wasn't quite familiar with this one where it is, there's been quite a bit out of my ward, or what it was before. So is it just a replacement of the yard with another building?
I think we've had this before. I think last time they asked for a certificate of lawfulness or something to say that it had been a builder's yard for the last 10 years.
It's demolishing a building, isn't it, existing building, and putting a new one in its place, and I guess this is the kind of live out thing, really.
It is, isn't it? Very much so.
Yeah.
Is it amongst the other buildings then? Is it quite is it right on the edge or is it a bit far
If you
out?
look on Google Maps, it's just a junkyard. There's all straw bales on the side of the road, and then time. The claim is, and this is where the new MPPF is coming into force, the claim is that this is now grey belt, not green belt, because the claim there's been development there before. Well, one of the comments suggests that that's not true, but I don't know.
It's just a simple, as I say, traditional bungalow, isn't
Mm,
it?
it
Three
is.
bed bungalow, so I'd be inclined to support, to say support for it.
Is it within the footprint? Because the one thing it's kind of reminded me a bit of something that was in my ward a year or two ago, and we refused it.
I think the building that's there is just a shed.
Okay.
There's been 3 Labour comments on this. One of them being Councillor Green, who I thought might have been here tonight. 2 of them are talking about protected species and animals living on the land. And I can't really figure out what these animals are because they've redacted it from the... What sort of an animal do you want to redact from a...
That was so strange, wasn't it?
Yeah, the lions are giraffes or something. So there's some claim that there's some protected species there anyway. The other sort of complaint was that it was inappropriate development in green belts. Now, unfortunately, I think that argument probably doesn't wash anymore because if they accept that it's green belt.
Ah, I can see it now. It's like a junkyard, is it? Is there even the small building there, isn't there?
Yeah,
Real
there's
maps.
something there, yeah.
So is it like a replacement of that building? It's kind of like industrial, isn't it? It's not like it's farmland, is it? It's not. That one there, straight up the road.
There's building around it, isn't there?
I thought the detail of the plans were quite poor. And I thought the climate change statement was really pretty inadequate as well.
It's a bit, yeah. Is it one to refer to Kirklees, do you think, what's the buildings, or like, I don't know if you...
I mean, if a year ago, I think we'd have been saying, or I would have been saying, this is inappropriate development in Green Valley.
Oh, it's
I don't think we can say that anymore.
It's just outside of the Homley as well, isn't it? It's not like it's...
It's not in the middle of the countryside, is it?
It's just past that playground, isn't it? Well,
Okay. Yeah, I don't think we've got really much grounds to oppose it, have we? It's...
Adam would like to make the point about the climate change statement. I thought it was cool. I think, you know, with the new bill, I think surely that's the point in where they should work to the SPD, shouldn't they? Is there any reason why you wouldn't on a new bill?
Save costs. Maybe, but you're not saving costs in the long run, are you? So it's a bit... I don't know. You add value to your property by doing these things, but also future-proofing them as well, aren't you? So it's... No, I don't think there's many reasons really why we refuse it.
No.
They can't. They say wildlife there in that builder's yard. It's like, is it all concrete over anyway? It looks like that, doesn't it?
Maybe it's rats.
I've realised that it's probably a bird that people steal the eggs from.
Oh,
so
so
they're
do you
not-
think that's
yeah.
what's redacted?
That might be,
Ah.
so it,
The golden eagle.
yeah,
Right.
perhaps not an eagle, but it could be some sort of bird of prey or something like that.
Okay.
There's some animals, some protected species of birds that you can't say where they are, in case they,
Yeah. Not like to explain that. What are we coming down to? Support it, but I would like to say something about the climate change.
Happy with that. I think we support it. I mean, it's a small, it's only 3 bedrooms, isn't it? It's the simple, you know, we need smaller houses. I think
I mean, it's going to improve
support it.
what's there.
It's going to improve
It's
what's
just
there,
in
isn't
there.
it?
Yeah.
No, it's but we prefer improved climate sustainable.
Demand.
So is it subject to wildlife surveys as well, perhaps?
Well, I think they made a point, haven't they, Kirklees, on that, so.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they've suggested a lot of conditions, didn't they?
Yeah.
College.
Okay. If we move on to number 6, Woodbottom Road in Netherton. Change of use of agricultural land to a dog walking area. I was amazed at this. There's 35 Labour comments on there. 30 of them against it and 5 for.
The all against six of the noise.
Mainly they're against highways, noise and disturbance of wildlife and insufficient parking.
The thing is with the dog walking areas, they're not going to attract like tens of cars, are they? There might be like a couple of cars an hour or something like that. So it's not going to create huge highways issues. It's not like you've got a cafe or a pub there with lots of people driving into it or something like that. I can understand noise issues and things like that. It's near to local residents' housing, but
Again, this is in Greenbelt, isn't it? And
they're not like it's not like they're building anything, is it?
I mean, I'm not convinced they've shown very special circumstances here that to change from an agricultural field into a dog walking area.
I thought there was a lack of detail, wasn't there?
Mm.
They didn't. There was nothing about opening hours, was there? I don't
No.
think.
Well, yeah, I would
I
say
think ecology. So I mean, I would object. I would defer to Kirklees Council because we haven't got enough information to make a decision.
without down to licensing or something like that, to go and be opening and business, because like you shouldn't really be open from, like should be between like 9, 8, and 8:30 and 6 o'clock or something like that, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I think you've got to some extent take notice of 30 people have taken the time to put an objection on this. You have to listen to what people are saying to some extent, don't you? And they're not, I mean, they're not just spurious reasons, they seem to be valid reasons. Highways and noise, parking.
Yeah.
For me, I'd object to this one.
Yeah, happy to go with that.
Object on what grounds?
Well, I think it's inappropriate.
No
isn't it?
parking, traffic.
Traffic, yeah,
Noise.
highways, noise, and insufficient parking. I don't know. Number 7 is the tank. This is a variation of conditions in regard to the opening hours. I only put this on here because of the neighbour comments. Apparently it's been on trial for the last 12 months.
It was a very odd thing. I thought it was a really strange thing.
Yeah.
I thought it because it meant that it could have been open late every weekend. It just seemed a very odd thing for
Yeah.
Kirklees Council to do. Yeah. And I noticed there was some reference to condition 7, but that in one of the objections, but that had actually been removed. That was about marking out the resurfacing and marking out places and.
And you know, Kirklees then made the point that they can't accept the argument that extended hours will only be used occasionally. So you think, well, why did you give a
Why did
trial anyway?
Why did the trial run? Because it was only 6 openings beyond 9 p.m. I think this is just and it's all a lot of it's historic, isn't it? It's going back to how things were and not removing lights that were extant. So I think it's so complicated. I feel we should defer it, which is what we did the last time. The last time this came up, we deferred.
I'm not particularly against it, like, because I think they've got to kind of find ways to their business for the building to work. And they probably just want that thing to be permanent. It's not like it's going to be open every weekend and be a nightclub or anything like that going on. It might just be like the occasional one, like when they've got like a festival, when the folk festival festivals on or things, and well, maybe at Christmas if they did something on there. It's not like we're going to be doing something every weekend, I think. It doesn't lead itself to that kind of thing.
And if they were limited to say, I don't know, 10 weekends in a year or something, but what Kirklees are saying is they can't do that.
But then it's like,
Either extend it to every
It has to be
week.
well, I just think though that it's kind of like when you have something like that, it can be complicated because you're having to mess around and check your bookings how many you've got, and you're messing around all the time, aren't you? I'm not against it. You know, there's some residents nearby putting the buildings next to it who are against it, but
Yeah, there's been 5 comments all opposed it, but I guess if you're.
No, I'm not against it, I just feel it's just got so complex that I don't feel qualified to
yeah.
pass judgment.
I'm very good with Kirklees.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to say,
Yes, please.
Have a good session.
oh, great.
You missed out on everything.
So we've just got to number 3, Winniebank Lane in Wooldale, a multi-function teaching space and a holiday let, again in Greenbelt.
Where do you find this haven't got a change of, why there wasn't a change of use with this? I mean, I've been wondering what's been happening there, because I walk past it quite often, and there's certainly a lot been happening on that field already.
It's,
They make reference somewhere to it being for hay.
yes,
So
And I'm
being
thinking-
agricultural use.
I don't recollect Peter Card using it for hay.
It was kind of like an empty field and not really
It's just-
used so much, wasn't it? Because I remember the gate always used to be open, and you sometimes see a few vehicles parked on there, and I know occasionally you hear the odd party on there, it's all about that and stuff, and like you would do with a nice bit of space like that, but I just think it looks nice, the plants. I thought it looked quite good, although it plans to do with it, some of the things. I've seen the residents, there's been some comments about bees, hasn't there? 'Cause isn't there 30 beehives?
I heard about the bees.
And it's a bit excessive. Like, I quite like bees, and the missus is always saying we should be doing more to support the bees and all that kind of stuff because they're good for biodiversity and wildlife and things like that and everything. But 30 beehives may be a bit excessive if you're living next door
You
to it.
ever wonder what those yellow dots are in your car?
They're bees.
These.
Mm.
And apparently it's on your washing as well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what the residents have
My
said.
father-in-law used to keep bees, and you can see yellow dots on your windscreen.
I do think like there is like maybe having 2 or 3 beehives and being okay, and then having 30 is a bit excessive.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I would have thought if they had 5 or 6, it would be still producing enough for them to do what they want to do.
I don't think the number of beehives is part of the application, is it?
No. I mean, the other thing that I thought was the car parking didn't seem
Yes.
sufficient.
Yeah.
I mean, there's what, 4 or 5 spaces, something like that.
Do they not say what they're doing as well? It's a multifunctional teaching space building, but what are they teaching? And is it going to be like a business, or is it something that they're going to do, or is that another word for their own building, the outdoor building that they're going to have? I wasn't sure about
Well,
that.
I think they're running it as a business, aren't
Yeah.
they? And so that's why I don't know why there isn't a change of use from having agricultural land to this business, which is, they've done quite a bit already. And I thought the statement in support of it was
Paul.
really brief, was just,
Paul,
yeah.
It didn't seem what kind of business it is. I'm kind of supportive of businesses and stuff like that. I'll bring people in, and like the Shepherd's Hut, they'll bring like tourists in, people like where can stay in that. I imagine the people who are maybe doing some of the teaching things might stay there or something like that. And that's quite good, and I'm not really against that.
But it's appropriate in the green belt.
Yeah, I mean, in contrast to what you said, I thought the buildings were awful. Tin sheets.
Not in keeping.
Plastic coated tin sheets.
Yeah.
In Greenbelt.
I haven't looked at the buildings in detail. I just looked at like the landscaping they're planning on doing. That's why I thought it looked quite nice.
Yeah.
And then the sort of a faux gypsy caravan.
And a pond, it just seems a real
It's a bit
mishmash of
twee, isn't it,
stuff.
for an area like that.
Stuff like that's quite good for wildlife though, isn't it? Like having a pond, having beehives and stuff like that and things.
But it's quite a small little pond, wasn't it?
It's a bit, yeah,
Sounds like
I
a
do
bit
get,
of everything.
Yeah.
I do get what you're saying.
I suppose it's rural crafts, I guess that's what they do.
Can I just say, it's not very, it doesn't tell us a right lot about how it's going to be and what they're going to do.
No.
On the plans I've always looked at, I've always looked to see what the plan is and how they intend to carry it through if it gets passed and what they're going to do. This doesn't tell you a lot at all, it tells you virtually nothing. And if you don't know where this place is, not having got any pictures of it, nobody can sit here and say, well, where is it? And where's it going to be? Well, you know, I'm used to looking at a plan with a picture on of where it's situated, rather than just sort of telling you, it might as well be speaking about somewhere down in Moor Green. It's as simple as that because it doesn't tell you anything.
They don't seem to recognise either that it's actually in Greenbelt. There's no reference.
I mean, what?
There's no reference to Greenbelt at all.
Rural Crafts Workshop, yeah, that's fine. What sort of rural crafts are we going to do? Provision of a shepherd's hut for use of holiday rental. Formation of parking areas for 6 vehicles. It's all very sketchy. All very sketchy. It doesn't mean a thing to me.
I'm not against it in principle, but,
No.
but how they're actually doing it, I think we could oppose it if you want to do it.
I think we need to see more information.
I think as it
on
stands,
this.
I would object to
Yeah.
it, but in principle, yeah, you know, if they put something a bit
I think it
more
needs,
detailed, I think
yeah,
it's a bit more in keeping with
Yeah.
what's there.
yes, I'd like to know what sort of rural crafts they want to teach people. Stonewalling,
Making beer.
making beer.
In a rain, we can.
But the access is really poor, isn't it? So
Yes.
it's going past Peter Castle House and then, you know, it's an unmade up road.
Yeah.
And they're saying, and then parking for 6 vehicles, we're going to have 14 people plus tutors coming in.
I mean,
To do these rural
That's
crafts.
not parking then, is it? You need probably at least 10 parking spaces, I'd say.
Mm. And I'm not sure that it's appropriate development anyway,
No, I'm not.
in the green.
Certainly not in this
And
kind of form.
and this is
No.
green belt, there's no grey belt offer here, that
No.
it's.
So we're refusing it on, so inappropriate development, not in keeping,
Parking, access to
highways and access.
Parking.
Yeah.
Well, the road there's not that bad, 'cause I drove on that road when we did the Carol on the Cliff. Because you just drive on there and that, and if I can drive on it in a little Corso and get up that track. Don't get me wrong, like, I'd like to think actually that they would do some remedial work to that track and up to that bit, if they're gonna do. Can't refuse on highways there.
Okay, you go.
If my Corso can get up there, then anybody can do.
Is access part of that or not?
I think it is, yeah.
Access?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so inappropriate development, Greenbelt, parking, access,
It
anything
opens
else?
onto a very narrow road as
Being
well.
trapped.
Yeah.
I'm not going.
That's a planning reason. Okay. Number 4, now, Croft Drive in Holline. Remove garage and erect a dwelling, so this is a new building effect. A 3-bed house.
oh, this was knocking down the garage and
Garage and-
building a house on it, wasn't it?
I mean, there's 4 neighbour comments.
Yeah.
Going on about a container on site, permission, there's some drainage and parking issues. The only one that seemed to really resonate with me was potentially an overlooking problem, but that's easily
That
solved.
could
Yeah.
be addressed easily.
Yeah.
I thought this, again, the climate change statement, I thought it was poor. I'm okay in principle with it, but I just think the neighbour comments need addressing, and I think the climate change needs addressing.
It's probably another grey belt, isn't it, really? I don't think
Um,
we've got.
It's not in Greenbelt, this
No.
one, it's
It's
just it's a
fine.
new bill. So,
I mean, to me, the neighbour comments can all be addressed by the planning authority.
yes, okay.
fact that there's a container is neither here nor there.
Support in principle,
I would have thought so.
Yeah.
address the comments on
That overlooking.
climate change. In section 7. Number 12, Scholes and Moor Road, connection of a fence. This was an odd one, I think. I mean, the comment period's ended, but that's by the way. This is one I don't think I could open the actual application.
Oh, I could open this
And I
one.
thought, is it because the date's passed, but I don't know, perhaps it was just me.
I could open this one.
Oh, right.
This one's okay.
But it's only a fence, isn't it?
It's how it sticks,
It's
isn't
only
it?
a 5 foot fence.
Yes.
Just-
I mean, they've got a stone wall at present.
Yeah.
To me, it's having a 5 foot.
Some lower bushes. I mean, I kind of regret it really.
Yes.
I don't
Yeah,
see
I
why
do.
we can. I don't see why we could
Yeah.
object to it. But I kind of.
I like the wall.
I like the wall. I
Yeah.
don't like this.
Yeah, the fence is sort of urban.
Protect. Yeah. It's introducing.
I mean, I've written here reluctance.
Dry stone wall's protected though. It's like some kind
I
of
don't
rusting
think
on
it is
it.
a dry stone, I think it's
They're
a
not
fairly
taking.
low-
They're not taking
lowish
the wall
wall,
down
isn't it?
anyway. They're just putting a fence behind it,
Right.
and it's like pretend wood or reconstituted wood. You know, a real.
What's the point then? Just to make it a bit higher?
But there's no footpath. Oh, there is, no, there's no footpath.
There's no.
Because it's opposite Little Cape Junction.
Mm.
So you're not getting
I don't know why you.
a promenade of pedestrians all looking over into their front lawn.
But that's the,
Unless there's a dog or something, but
yeah.
to be kept in.
But I mean, I put down reluctant support.
Reluctant to call
Yeah.
it. So probably very right.
There's no reason to object to it, is
No.
there? No reason.
So I support that one. 16 is the one at Totties, which has already been decided, I believe. It was for the agricultural buildings. So I don't think there's much we can say on that one.
Probably been decided.
Well, supporting the business as well, is it?
Yeah, I think we probably have supported it anyway, wouldn't we? Number 18, field house in Cumberworth, convert the garage to a living accommodation.
It's quite a large site, that.
Yes, it is.
And so the loss of the garage, they've got more than adequate space.
This is at Fine Lane End, isn't it? It's right on the junction.
Yeah, it's right on the edge of our boundaries as well, isn't it?
I don't think.
Wondered what the point was of that little exclusion on top of the garage. What was the point of that pointy thing? I guess it didn't.
Just to give light.
Just.
Yeah, it's not the garage.
It seemed pointless really, and not really fit with the rest of the building. But again, I thought it was a minimal application as well. It is right what it wants, but I don't see why.
I
I
might
think
Yeah.
it's in green belt, but
Yeah.
it's only converting what's there.
Yeah, they
Very
sought
small.
permission rather than lottery, just go, we'll do it anyway.
Support it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Number 19 is one that we can't find. Did you make some comments on that?
Yeah.
Kept trying, I kept going back. Trying.
22, 5 Car Lane in Holmfirth. I haven't read much about this, other than I just thought support it, and there
Yeah.
seemed to be anything.
I think we've seen something on this one before, not so long ago.
Yes, we did, it was separate, then it was separate outbuildings.
Yeah.
One was a kind of annex to this relation, and the other one was a games room or something. So now they've scrapped that, and they're just putting fairly modest extension on the house, and that seemed okay
Yeah.
to me.
Support?
Yeah, support that, yeah.
23, Magdale in Hunley. First
Oh,
floor
this is,
rear extension.
yeah.
This is odd, isn't it? It doesn't quite get rid of this flat roof, does it? But it makes it better.
My thought was Andy will like this, he gets rid of the flat roof.
They've like
Yes.
and then they built a,
It's
on top
really,
of it.
Yeah.
It's all,
it's a strange do, isn't it?
yeah.
I think they could probably build this and have no one actually notice that anything's gone on.
Yeah.
Um,
This is one of these that's quite well back off the road
Yeah.
as well, isn't it?
yeah,
Mm.
it's on that track down to the dam that,
I have no issues really. I think it improves it.
Yeah.
Support?
Yeah.
Can we do the pink part ones while they're doing them all? And it's a little bit out of, it's a little out of kilter, but we might as well. This is number 8, the village in home. We've had this, well, not this application, but an application before in 2023, which was passed. And I think this is the one, do you remember they got in touch with us and asked us why we supported it? They thought we were going to oppose it. That's the first and only time I can remember anybody coming back to us. Anyway, they've never done it. So now this is another application instead of, I believe. I couldn't see anything personally to argue with it.
Why they didn't go straight to the two-story extension is a different matter, isn't it, really? I mean, they've already got approval for the single-story extension, so I don't think we can object.
yes, it seemed a strange one.
It's a strange one, it's a strange way of going about things, really.
Okay,
Okay.
so where have we got to? Number 3, item 104, part 3. Consider community consultation for the proposed wind turbine at Carter Plantation Farm. Thoughts, anybody? They haven't yet put in planning.
Nice to be asked.
Yeah.
I had to get the big map out for this one. The area of the
Yes.
whole farm straddles the border between Home Valley and Meltham Township. So depending on where on site they put the wind farm will depend whether it falls onto our side or their side. However, they haven't put that information out yet.
Personally, I would just say, let's wait until we get the planning application. Whether we just sort of say something like, thanks for
Well, that's giving us the opportunity.
Yeah.
Well,
there's usually nothing to comment on, is there?
Well, where actually is it? Like, I assume because it's right on the boundary, it's going to be right at the top of the hill.
One would assume.
I don't think it is. I think it's dropping down towards Meltham.
Is it, if you're coming down from, where from?
So if you go, do you know where the ford is?
Yeah.
And then you drive that's the road, and then it would be, as you're driving towards Meltham, it would be on the right hand side. Quite a lot of that field is the Carter Plantation Farm. Some of it is divided up into
Right,
others.
it's on the right hand side, it's less visible, isn't it? 'Cause it kind of like plateaus off a little bit there, doesn't it? Whereas, if I drive down there quite a bit, when we go to Laura's grandma lives in Meltham, so we drive up there to the fall and drop down. And you're always looking over to the left hand side, there's not really much to that side, so it's not really going to spoil the view. And it's not really going to be visible from that many places until you're actually up there, because it's that high up. So it's probably the best place to put a huge stonking windmill, because it's windy up there all the time. And
We don't know how big this thing is. It might be just one of these little farm ones. It might be an enormous thing. You know.
250 kilowatts, and I mean, I think in principle we should support the generation anyway, and you know, I mean, its footprint's very tiny, and it may be replaced eventually by something else, it can be easily removed once it's.
You need to say where it's going and what it's going to look like.
it's just out of the Peak District, isn't it? But as I say, when you look at the Peak District, they've got two stonking big masts over there anyway. So if they're okay with having a big mast over the other side, then having a windmill over there is probably not that bad. I don't think it's doing anything.
No problem saying thanks for inviting us. You know, but when it comes up to us.
Do you want me to say, I think what they're looking for is a sort of supporting principle. So if I say that thank you for contacting us, and the parish is supportive of renewables in general, but we will need to see the full application.
Yeah,
Go
that's
on.
fair.
Sounds good.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
You're always good at this, aren't you?
I've had some practice.
Okay, item 105, Peak District National Park. To note the list of applications received,
Noted.
an update of views of the committee, and then to consider new or amended applications, which we've just done. And then item 3 on here, the Peak District National Park local plan consultation. Previous working group on responding to the Peak District local plan consultation reconvened to consult with residents and responded to the local plan preferred response consultation by the deadline of 21st of December. Just want to put a few words in. I think that the original consultation was done by Mary, Margaret Dale and myself. And this has come round again for consultation now on their preferred plan. So we tried to keep it to the same 3 people for consistency. So it was again Mary, Margaret, myself replied to that. I got it in just in time. Unless anybody really wants to see it, I can dig it out and give you details if you like, but
I'm happy to circulate it if you send it to me.
there were 70 odd questions, I think.
Right?
Yeah, it was.
They're good that we didn't print it out then.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody's genuinely interested and wants to see the response, then I've still got it somewhere. Otherwise,
Okay, anyone interested?
Well, thank you, the 3 of you.
Yeah, well, I think we should thank our chair there, because we actually, you got it in, you got pulled together what Margaret and I had said, which was, I think, fairly minimal, wasn't it, mine, but
online wasn't.
and got it in by the day. I mean, it was a terrible, you know,
Yeah.
very bad timing actually to close a consultation on the 21st of December.
They're getting short, aren't they, these? And we've got another one coming up, we'll come to it in.
But we did it.
We did it, yes.
We did.
Yeah. And I think it's better to do something rather than nothing.
Yes.
Item 106 then, traffic calming. Police council management for speeding in the home valley. Councillors and assistant clerk to report on updates received on said location. Don't think there's much to report on this.
Other than what's included in here, I think that's the last correspondence we've had on it,
Yeah,
in that
which is,
locations have been put forward. Watch this space.
yeah. I haven't looked lately, but I assume that one is still in place in the new Mill Jackson Bridge area.
Still there.
Yeah.
It is, is it?
Yeah, drove past it Sunday, yesterday.
What's that, a year now?
Getting
Over a
up
year,
there,
I think.
isn't it?
Ages. It's rubbish. Like it's
They're
just,
not
it's
responding,
such a
yeah.
waste it being there.
Mm.
Like the whole point is moving them around. It just stays there. There's no point.
I do feel quite aggrieved by this.
Oh yeah.
I feel like saying, can we have a money back, please?
Yeah.
Because we're not getting anything from these.
Like I understand like they've got staff shortages and things like that going on, but we're not asking for a lot, are we? Like we're asking for it maybe like 3 or 4 times a year to be moved around. I feel really aggrieved about this.
I don't know where else we go with it now.
Will we give them assurances by Kirklees that they would be able to move it around when we actually bought the thing?
It was supposed to be part of a planned moves, wasn't it, really? So I suppose maybe something's happened that needs to be
Can we request one of the ward councillors to come to the meeting, or Moses or James to talk to us about it? Because Moses was involved when we put it originally, wasn't he? Come talk to a planning committee.
Well,
It's just,
he's saying in his email, isn't he, that they're having a meeting
Well, this was back in September, wasn't it?
in December, 14th of
Oh,
December.
yeah.
can we ask him for an update then about how he's got on and what progress has been made, and just mention that the device is still on Sheffield Road and it's been there about a year now. and they're keen for it to be rotated around the valley.
I mean, to me, when you link it with the letter from the chief exec to Jen about communication regarding the town centre, this, and how they want to, how they want to work with us. This is like saying, well, but we'll work with you on our terms.
I mean, we pay for this movie, don't we?
Yeah.
This was part of the deal.
Mm.
It's not, they won't let us do it ourselves, so we couldn't set on a contractor to do it, but.
How long does it take to take one down and put one up somewhere?
I think once it's been in place, once they put the socket on the lamp post, it's a minimum time.
Because some of these lampposts are already set for it, aren't they?
Yeah.
Right. So it can't be that much effort, is it? It's not like it's going to be days of work. We're talking like about 2 or 3 hours, aren't we, maybe?
If that, I would suggest.
I feel as if we should say, can we have them back, and then put them on eBay.
I think we should ask for some more feedback about it, keep on with it. Once we've got a response in terms of trying to do something about it.
Do we write to all three of them, or just
I
to Moses?
I
I
can
mean,
write,
Moses
I
was
tend to
behind
write for all two or three when I write.
Moses was behind the original
Yeah.
agreement.
Yeah.
We can write to Moses a copy in the other two or something.
It's usually councillor Cook that responds
Mm.
to it, but yeah, I send to all three.
He refers to this update meeting in his email on the 14th of
I
December.
can see,
That's what you can
I
ask
can
for.
chase up and see if
What
it's
was the
happened.
outcome of that? What was the outcome of that meeting? What was the outcome of that
Yeah.
meeting?
And when you think at one stage they gave us a lot of details about the one on Greenfield Road,
Mm.
and that was a one-off, wasn't it? I think they must have thought,
Well, I think 3 months of data is quite interesting. That one's been up for a year, so like the data's going to be like, it's like, there's nothing about it's been there for so long.
We never had any data from when it was first put up in Newmill, near the school.
Yeah, in that rush mile around the
We
corner.
never had
Yeah.
any data from it.
near the car park on Newmill Road, yeah.
It's just, so, okay, we're going to go back to councillors. To note, concerns raised by a member of the public, by Councillor Dixon regarding frequent accidents on Sheffield Road, Petworth. Would you like to say something, Tom?
I got the email from a resident who lives at Foster Place, so just up Sheffield Road. And I drive on this road every week, going to work, maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And it's curvy road, it's quite tight corners, you can't really go much more than, it's national speed limit once you get past the red line and onto the straight bit there. And you can't drive national speed limit on that road, because the corners are way too tight and there's like chicanes and stuff like that, all the way around there, up to Victoria. And you can't really get more above 40 really, and we're going on them corners, you need to be down at 30 or a bit lower. So the residents mentioned to me that there used to be signs on the corners, black and white signs. You know, like the chevrons, that's the ones, yeah, to try and warn people to slow down and things like that. But I think some of them have been that damaged or it's not been replaced over the years. So the thing for me is, will that make a difference? Do I think to the amount of accidents happening? People are driving too fast and are being too dangerous because it's a national speed limit and driving like idiots and crashing their cars, and it's bad. Without reducing the speed limit to say 40 and then putting some speed cameras up maybe or something like that, you won't do all. But saying that, I don't think highways will do all until someone's died on that road. If someone dies on it, they probably will put a load of speed limit down and then they'll put like some cameras up like one side to the other, and then you can record how fast it's going between one part of it and the other part of it. But in the meantime, can we put some, like, can we ask Kirklees to maybe replace some more chevrons or put some, I was driving like the other day and I noticed like there's big marks on it when you get to the corners that say slow on it, say slow down. They're visible, they're obvious, but some people just don't care. They're driving like idiots, and I don't know what you can do to really stop them, apart from lowering the speed limit down.
Which section of road in particular is this?
The
Are the
worst
residents
bit
complaining
is,
about?
the worst bit is from Jackson Bridge up before you get to what was the Vic, as you go around Neil Hill.
Well, I think what the person's mentioning is they've got some cattle on the like farm, which is just across from Foster Place. So there's a little road that goes down towards Hepworth School,
Yeah.
and then from there up towards probably where the pub used to be, the Chase. So if you go up there, there's a big round corner, and then there's like a curly bit, and then another bit around there, and
There's a few
well,
holes. There's a few holes in the wall. Where
The middle
Yeah.
of the wall, the middle of the wall, all the way down, on the left hand side.
but like
That whole road.
it's downhill as well. Though. It's downhill, so it's quite a good gradient.
The whole way right to the crossroads where you go down to Penistone.
Yeah.
It's bad, there's been accidents on that crossroads, there's been
Mhm.
accidents at the Victoria.
Yeah.
And they did have some speed cameras, it's like SIDS there, well, it's still there.
But there's no point though. Like I mentioned that to the resident that we got these sits, and she said we could put one up there, but it's national speed limit, so it's not going to do much of a difference.
Well,
I
they're
mean,
not- they're
they're not-
actually two on the junction.
they're not breaking the law.
But they won't repair them.
But it does go down to 40 once you get to Echo Fire Company, but then it's pretty much 60 mile an hour all the way down to till you get to Jackson Bridge. And people seem to slow down when they get to Jackson Bridge because they get down to that big corner there, and you don't really hear about any bad accidents, but they're by the red line, and there's always cars parked outside there. People seem to slow down or take pace of what the situation is, but like, I think some people just
And
see national speed limit, put the foot down, and it says all 17 accidents in the last year, 3 in the last 2 days, 6 in 6 weeks. It's insane. And it's amazing that nobody has died. But
I cycle down there quite often. You get overtaken. on
you're brave.
white
You're
lines.
brave. You're brave doing that.
It's one of the cycling coming down. But you do get overtaken in some ridiculous places.
Because the visibility is not even that great there. It's not great at any of the points there because you've got all these corners and blind corners. And especially if you're coming up the hill. If you're coming up the hill the other side, it's like a broad hill there. But I've had people overtaking me on there and doing all
That's
kinds of
not bad if
circuits.
you're cycling uphill because you're going quite slow and cars can get past you. But if you're coming down,
You're going
so
near
you're
it,
doing
as I say.
25 mile an hour anyway.
Yeah.
So
Can we possibly refer this to, send this on, forward this on to Kirklees Highways and just ask if there's anything they can do to replace the chevrons, maybe make the markings a bit better. But I consider reducing the speed limit. I don't think they will do, but I think that's the least we can do.
we never got a response to talking to us about speed. I mean, I know it was related
No.
more to schools, but
No, I've tried 4 different offices now and still nothing. So, no, I haven't had anything, but you can, I think there is the sort of, I would possibly take this through customer services rather than directly to any officers, because I think they have to have some sort of response if you go through customer services. Councillor Dixon, can you go back to the resident and get their permission to pass on details? And
Yeah, will
things
do.
like that, so I can connect them.
Yeah.
And then I can just put them in touch directly, but I can forward on and leave their contact details in and they can get back to them directly
Yeah.
if needs be.
Yeah, I'll go back to them. I'll reply back to them tomorrow. But it's just say anything would be useful. But I was thinking of the road past from where you are, Donald, up towards where Toss of Coin pub used to be, and up there. So they reduced the speed limit down on that road, and there was a fatality on that bit of road there. 'Cause it's a similar kind of bit of road where it's curvy, it's people, it's a bit out of the centre, so people drive fast up there. And they reduced that one down to 50, because I'm sure that used to be national speed limit, past Toss of Coin up towards the Sovereign. And I'm not saying like, they probably should reduce this one down to lower than 50 Sheffield Road, I think, but whether they will do or not, I don't know.
okay. Item 107, ongoing highways campaigns. This is Amazon Road, Eastgate, Hounscale Gate. Not too much to say on this other than Councillor Ryder came and had a walk with me around Amazon Road. Showed her first hand the sort of things, the issues. she has responded since then, just to say she thinks we should just leave it to the officers to deal with, but it hasn't worked too well so far.
What's this?
Ramsden Road and
Oh, listen, I got involved with this 7 years ago, and we're still messing about.
it's been on the go since 2018 to my knowledge.
Still messing about after all that time.
I've had another complaint from somebody on Cheesegate now saying that
Well, I've been to see Mr. Silveris, and I've also been to see Stephen Insulin, and they're fed up to the teeth. They're getting trapped 4x4s on that top road, besides Cheesegate, damaging all the walls, knocking the walls down, and actually encroaching on private land of Stevens, upsetting, when in the summer they were upsetting grouse, getting them out of the nest, because you well know they nest at ground level, and they were upsetting all the grouse. And if you said anything to them, or 50 words said to them, the amount of swear words, like Stephen said, some I'd never heard of it were that bad. Seriously, they've to put up with this, and we've been putting up with it for a long number of years now.
or just after Christmas, they towed a caravan round by us on Ramsden Road and smashed it up all the way around, so there was debris all the way around, and then abandoned it, left it, which is still there because, you know, now they've got somebody to move it, it's in bits. And this is the sort of thing that's going on almost every week,
It is.
and they just seem, I don't know.
Actually, Andy, if you go up schools, I've been up schools with Damien a while ago, last year. If you stand there at the top of schools above crossing, you can see them coming down with the lights on.
We get
These
them,
people in the dark.
Yeah,
They're
they're
crackers,
nice.
absolutely crackers.
yeah, we get them every night, yeah.
And of course, the livestock's dying as well. It's just crazy.
I mean,
We don't seem to get any further forward with
the
it.
formal position there at the moment was that back in April last year, they agreed to put a TRO on all these lanes, permanent TRO, but then they've been challenged since then by, I believe it's one of the 4x4 groups, and so now they don't know what to do, I think. So here we are in January and they're still deciding what to do about it. And before long they will run out of time and have to start again.
Yeah.
And it's just so frustrating, you can't get any information from anyone about what's happening. However, that's my whole evening.
You just have to keep plodding on.
Yeah,
One day somebody might listen.
planning, policy, guidance and consultation. To note an update on the rollout of the new local plan making system was published. Do you know what that's? This was like a newsletter thing, wasn't it, that came out?
Yes, it looks like February will be the launch of the new system for making local plans. So I presume that affects the Kirklees local plan that you're commenting on the timelines and things for that.
And part two of this is consultation on changes to the national planning policy framework. So the current one was only in December last year. December, am I right there? December 24, wasn't it? And they've now released another one, December 25. And they are taking consultation on this, but it's only open until the 10th of March, which doesn't give very long again to respond to consultation. And it's a very meaty document.
Yeah.
Quite far-reaching, quite significant changes. My thoughts, and you might want to step in here, Mary, but were that we perhaps ask the wider reference group that are looking at the local plan to pick this up and comment on it.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, you go to that one. so-
Yeah, because you couldn't go. So we met, the reference group met on Friday afternoon. Actually people seemed really quite enthusiastic about making a response to this. So what we've decided is to hold two community consultation events. One in Brockholes and one in Holmbridge. Well, these are the tentative dates, Wednesday the 11th in Brockholes and Monday 16th of February in Holmbridge in the evening from 7 to 9. And inviting inviting a fairly wide list of people really, but particularly residents groups. Anybody can come. So we've set up a small group which consists of Councillor Whitelaw and Margaret Dale and John Queenie and me, who are going to organise this. I mean, it's not going to take much organising, we don't think. So somebody will kind of set the scene. As you said, it's a very meaty document, so we need to digest it first, and then collect people's responses. So
where will the meetings actually be held?
I was hoping, I haven't started any phoning yet, but in the village hall, Brockholes Village Hall, and then maybe St David, the parish hall in
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. So yes, there was quite a lot of enthusiasm, would you say? Yeah. For this. It almost took me by surprise really that people were so enthusiastic.
I mean, there are some quite significant changes in it, aren't there?
There are, yes, yeah. So I mean, probably the best way of picking those up and understanding them is to look at the documentation that's coming out from, say, the Royal Town Planning Institute or the Local Government Association, all of whom are obviously commenting on this in great detail.
It was suggested that different people concentrate on different bits of it rather than trying, because it's a few, well, it's a hefty tome.
And again, the time isn't
No,
so short.
So we'll have the input from these meetings, obviously, because there's about a month before the 10th of March. But yeah, we need to look at it.
I think the intent, the impression I got was that we have an amalgam view by the end of February, so that we beat the deadline. Hopefully.
Okay.
I also thought the AI might be helpful.
Very good at summarising things. If you've got massive documents, you can just get it to say right and interrogating things for that sort of thing. Do you want a hand with that?
Probably as much as anything, it'll be about picking out the bits that are really relevant to us and really contentious as well. And a lot of it, I think we're just going to have to part. You can't comment on all of it, can you? It's just too big. Okay, part 3, to note invitation to join our petition. I can't say that. An event focused on shaping community visions for nature in protected areas of the Peak District Dales. Saturday the 24th of January. Event poster and frequently asked questions are included.
It's hardly out of our area, but I do tend to put things in for you for Peak District events.
I think you forwarded the details to Councillor Whitelaw.
I was going to suggest
Yeah.
And she has said to me today that if nobody else is going, she would go to it.
It's,
I don't think anybody from here is going to away.
it's focused on the Dales part of the Peak
It's
District,
exactly
which is
what
the
it's
sort of
for.
southern part of the
If
district.
there's
so-
still space, she should have registered by the 4th of January. So shall I communicate with them and say,
it's
go
all
ahead,
right.
please?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yes, I mean,
It sounds interesting.
yeah, but it's not really relevant to our bit of the Peak Park, is it? I mean, Home Village isn't exactly overrun.
They are looking for a wide range of
Yes.
views, aren't they? They
Yeah.
don't necessarily have to live there to.
No.
There was a thing that came around yesterday about lime extraction in the Peak Park, but the nearest point to us was Buxton, so I haven't
maybe
Send
that
that round.
maybe that is a bit out of area.
Okay, item 109. Concerns regarding the Packhorse Bridge at Smithy Place, Brockholes. Now this, you might remember, we talked about in full council. Councillor Bellamy was looking for support in trying to get some action to have it repaired. It looks as though, I mean, I don't quite know what's happened here, but I think it looks as though someone has pushed the toppers off the wall, off the top of the bridge into the river. Yeah. And I think the danger is that it's going to deteriorate fairly rapidly. And it's a grade 2 listed bridge, this. It really ought to be dealt with.
And that used to happen on Upper Bridge. And the top coping stones on Upper Bridge, they inserted metal clamps, like big paper clips, holding them together.
I think reading between the lines, she's been a bit frustrated with this in that they said they'll deal with it, Kirklees, but they won't give her a date as to when they're going to do it. And the worry from herself and the locals is that it might be too late if we keep waiting.
How long has it been like that for? Is it recent or has it been a while?
Couldn't really say, it's obviously not just recent, so it's been like it for a little while.
Should we contact Kirklees about it and ask them when they're going to start the works on it and just mention it's a listed building and...
I think she was just looking for that sort of support.
Do you just want me to write to Kirklees?
Yeah, and just reinforce what she said.
Or customer service?
Both?
Right, okay.
Yeah, and just ask them for a timetable for the repair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're concerned that it's, you know, it's a listed building.
I wasn't going to the nth degree, like, general, like, vertical paragraphs. Keep it brief.
No, I
You're not
can
going-
summarise, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got to Smith Lane.
Design guide.
Design guide, shop front design guide. There we are. There's a box full of envelopes now. The ones to the developers and such like, have they gone now then?
All the ones that we put stamps on, yeah, so all the ones that are already, that we've done,
Has there been
agents, etc.
any response from any of them?
Well, no, we didn't really
We didn't
have a
really-
call to action, it was
No.
just here's some
No,
information for you,
nice.
please use it.
If anybody
no,
contacts you,
there
say,
hasn't
what a
been
good
anybody.
idea.
They went before Christmas, so they
Yeah.
definitely would have happened by now.
So the next step is to divide all these up into areas and give them to councillors for delivery. I'm going to try and get down to see you
We're
on.
going to do some stickering on
On
Wednesday.
Wednesday. So if anybody wants to join me, you're welcome.
What time?
Stickering.
Yeah, all the labels still need sticking on there.
Probably about half past one.
Right, what the different businesses you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got a meeting at 2:30 anyway for the grants committee. Yeah, the grants working group, so just before that. I'm not trying to task anybody into it. I don't think it's a huge task now. Then we'll tell me differently, I suppose.
All we need to do is put the address labels on now, everything, all the envelopes and stuff and everything, and there's, how many did we say there were, about 300 and something?
Something like that.
300 stickers need sticking on 300 envelopes each.
I'll come along for half this month.
That's brilliant. Many hands on that. Thank you very much. So I think the end's in sight. I hope it is anyway. Item 111, Conforth Town Centre Group, councillors to report on any updates received. I don't think there's anything other than what we've had, is there?
I've not received anything.
It's 20 mile an hour is operative now.
Oh, thanks.
You did see that the clerks received a communication from Kirklees about sort of town centre management more generally, but I think that'll go into full council rather than.
Okay. Item 112 then, neighbourhood development plan, over to councillor Ramsey.
Sorry, I thought I'd sent this earlier, but I haven't. It's taken a lot longer than we thought it would because I wanted to be as diplomatic as possible. Because I appreciate Rachel Huntley put a lot of work in. felt she was let down by the consultants. And maybe when we get to do the review in 3 years' time, it would be a much more concise document, where we actually can have targeted policies that we can actually achieve. The vision, I think, is great, but when you don't have any actions you can actually put in place, it's like saying, well, I want my house to be like this, but I haven't got a builder or a decorator,
No materials.
and I haven't got the money. But I know the house I want. And I think,
This ties in with the local plan anyway, doesn't
Yes.
it? And that we have, my understanding is we're going to have to review this anyway,
Yeah.
in light of the
Yes.
local plan when it's
Yeah.
done. And I suppose there's a good lesson to be learned then in there from it, that is, however we review it, we need to focus on things that we can actually do, we
yes.
can measure,
Yeah,
the funding for.
yeah. I think, we had the problem when the conservation group did the appraisal of Holmfirth Town Centre. The document was just far too long and far too wordy. And I felt that with that was the feeling with the neighbourhood plan, that there's a lot of work gone into it, and that the people looking at it sort of said, we don't want to detract from that, because there's a lot of information being collected, but you don't need to put it into the plan, but you do need a targeted plan. And that's really been the cause of contention. A lot of words being exchanged as to how it's done. Because I didn't want them to cast doubt on Rachel's integrity, because I think she did a phenomenal job of pulling people together. But
I think, none of us were involved in the process. I think they suffered, the people who were doing it suffered the fact they were, in a sense, pioneers, really. And I know certainly the Kirklees officers were feeling their way, weren't they, as well. And Margaret Dale, who was involved in it, says repeatedly that the document produced is not what they wanted to produce. So it is far too long. And having looked at some others, they're much more precise and specific than this.
off the record, the consultants that were guiding the group got a lot of stick, in that the guidance was faulty.
And perhaps, when we do come to redo it, we can look at some more recent ones and get a feel for, how we can produce something a bit more concise.
I mean, it is a tribute to Rachel and
Oh, yeah.
the group that they
Yeah.
actually managed to finish the job, and it still is the only completed one in Kirklees. I think there were a few started and didn't really get anywhere.
And it's going to still be a good base, isn't it?
When we did take it on originally, it was in limbo for years. Not much happening, waiting for feedback from Kirklees. When Rachel got involved with it, she got on with it and got it done, and really got on with it.
The base information that's all been collected can be updated quite easily,
Yes.
but it doesn't actually need to be in the document.
No,
It just
no,
needs
it
to
could
be
be
there.
that, supporting documentation.
And as Mary said, it was the first one and only one in Kirklees, and so it suffers because of that.
In fact, what it means, developers can use it more or less as they wish, because
Yeah.
the statements are very
Yes.
broad and general. They can always pick something out to support what they're doing. Just adopted in 21, I think, and then 22. There are a list of 40 actions for the parish council, and I spent quite a long time going through them, and then in the end we decided it probably wasn't worth the time involved. But it was one of these quite interesting processes when you actually look through and you see actually there has been movement, because you think nothing much is happening, and when you look. So whether it is worth looking back at that at some, maybe it is at some point, but I would suggest not at the moment.
Well, I think the local plan review takes precedence.
I think it has to. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thanks for that.
Thanks.
So, to ask, is there anything else you want to do with this now?
I think we just
Noting
note
this
it.
information?
Okay. Yeah, well, the people I gave it to had some interesting reading. I think it's when they had sleepless nights.
I think the further action is somewhere in the future.
Yes, I think we can probably start this in reviewing the neighbourhood plan actively in 28, 29.
Yeah, it's kind of where what not to do, or pitfalls to avoid, I say.
I suppose once we know what the local plan looks like, then that's the point we can start.
We can pass it, start.
Okay, moving on. Item 113, section 106 funding. We have now had the new funding statement from Curtis in December. I briefly looked at it, but nothing more than that. I will take some time and do some analysis on it, and a bit of a comparison with what last year's was, and see where we are. Quite what we do with it, I don't know.
It's quite interesting to see what I just do a quick look as well, but actually there's a substantial amount of money has come to do various things, and road traffic enhancement, various things, but some of them I wasn't quite sure where it had gone and what. So it would be interesting to pick out the ones, wouldn't it, from that area, and let's have a look at them.
It is interesting, because did we get one last year, did you say? Because I don't really recall seeing one before that. And it's interesting when you see where the money being spent and actually see what's happened with it and what it's done. So like Newell Junction, which I go through pretty much most days, where they put the crossings in there at that time, and they actually do help the traffic flow, because there's times like where the lights will just stop. So I'm coming home from work and I stop outside Newell Club. There's no one crossing, but they're stopping to let the other traffic through from the other parts and the other junctions. And the queues don't seem to be as bad in other parts now, and it seems to flow quite nicely. It's quite good. So like, do you see that at all? Like the traffic in Newell flows better now with the lights there?
It's not as bad by any means.
No, it's definitely helped, and it's made it safer for people crossing, because people complained before that. Well, I've had it before when I've been at the zebra crossing by the co-op, and cars just go flying past and they don't stop. So that's happened before. So people now watch it, just press the button, just wait like a bit longer, and it's safer to cross for people with children and other things like that. So
I think there are a couple of aspects we can focus on in the future. I mean, one is to look through the list of where there's 106 funding in our area, in our particular areas, and try and find out what's actually happening with it. Because sometimes it seems to sit there for an awful long time with nothing happening. I think the other thing, and we talked about this before, if we ever get any big sort of housing schemes coming up in our area, that's our chance to get involved with the 106 process earlier and say, right, as part of this development, we'd like to see X, Y, and Z. And Gin Lane is possibly one that's going to come up. If that gets approved, then we have an opportunity to talk to the people around there and say, okay, you're going to have it anyway, but what would you like to see come out of the 106 one?
I think though as well I think it's interesting to see what the officers suggest, because one of the things on the list there was Aiden's school, where Newell Infants, where they're converting the old caretaker's cottage into like a SEND facility. So there'd be like sort of kids from the local area having to go to like Castle Hill and further afield, special needs children. They'd be able to go there and have use a facility there, which is better for them. I think it's about 200,000 they're spending on that, doing it all up, and they're doing it at the moment. And I've seen them doing the work and I've been dropping them off in the morning. I haven't been thinking about where the money's come from, but it's got to come from somewhere, doesn't it? And that's good money well spent. But that might not be something that immediately comes to mind. If you're a local resident, you might think, oh, something that we could have in our area, like a path through here or something like that. But something like that, it does help a lot of other people in other ways. So I think it's good to see actually what they're sending it to us, so that they can be a bit more accountable and we can look at it and think, yeah, there's this, there's that. So
Well, let's bear it in mind with Jim Lane. I feel sure that will be approved at some point. And, you know, let's try and find out what the people around there would like to see.
or what the officers plan,
It might be lighting, it could be all sorts.
or what the officers plan spending it on, or what their suggestions are. Just kind of like, they might come up with something and we think, oh, that's needed, it's good. They know more about the demands, I suppose, of maybe not the immediately local residents, but the residents in general in the area.
See, we don't see this process, do we? Because once it's been approved, well, we don't even see the approvals anymore, do we? We lose sight of it, don't we? And yet there's an opportunity to be involved, or at least the residents be involved anyway, trying to get something out of the 106.
So I think it's something that, as a parish, we should be influencing 106
Yes.
allocations.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay, I will try and do some analysis now. When I do, I'll send it around. 114, Planning Standing Committee, expenditures against budget and EMRs. Are we noting this?
Yeah, sure.
Is there anything we need to say?
Just on that, these two meetings that we're going to have for the reference group, presumably there'll be a higher cost, so you would take the money from there or not?
Oh, that's a good question, because really now that it reports to full council, it
Oh,
should be
actually,
coming
okay.
from there, but then you should
Yeah.
probably transfer the budget.
Where it comes.
Yeah.
If we've got it in the planning budget, which we have, haven't we? Well, in the funding.
That is
Yeah,
a
that's
deputy
interesting.
clerk question, and I will find out
Interesting.
whether we do need to move
Yeah.
any of that budget, all of that budget, whatever it might be. Over.
What's the cost likely to be? £50 a wall?
I think the last one was 30, so yeah.
30, 60,
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
We're not talking.
It's not.
If you want to buy the
We're not
big
going to we're not going to bankrupt the parish council.
it's small amount, but
We
it's
might buy some tea.
important that it sits in the right place.
Item 115, to note at the meeting of full council, the planning committee budget for 26-27 was approved at £1,000. This is where we talked about it being for shop fronts, didn't we? Grants, some sort of grant system.
Oh, yeah, we started that.
There's not really much money in
Something
grants out.
I think the next proper planning meeting we'll probably have to talk about. I mean, strictly speaking, we haven't got this money yet, have we?
No.
It doesn't happen until April. I have got Melthon's scheme. I did talk to them at Melthon and it seems to work quite well.
So say
They just have a chunk of money and when it's gone, it's gone.
£1,000 won't go very far.
No, theirs was much more, I have to say.
I think it's the sort of thing that
This is
we do.
feeling our way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it the case of putting the scheme together and then thinking about doing a bit of trial with it? Maybe
Yeah. And
identify
next,
a couple of areas and maybe a couple of places and then.
and next year we do with possibly a bigger sum.
You know, in Melthon they say it's a bit sort of sporadic, they might not have any applications and we get 3.
There's a lot less shops in Melbourne, but
That's true.
It would be nice if just someone came forward and, you know, give them the whole £1,000 a bit of a trial and see how it goes.
Would we want to keep it separate from the rest of the grant? I would think we do.
I think that was the intention.
Yes.
That it comes to this committee, not the grants
Yeah,
committee.
grants.
Yeah.
I think that what you would need to do is sort of flesh out the whole process, possibly as a working group. You don't have to set one up now necessarily if you've got other things on the go, but get it to a point with the support from the deputy clerk and set it up as a separate thing. Otherwise, I think it could get a bit muddled because what you are doing is the sort of rationale for it is all very different to our existing grants, so it would need its own set of rules, it needs its own set of.
If you like, circulate the Meltham Town Council system. And it might be just as well just to not quite copy what they do, but something very similar. There's something there that works, so. So yes, I'll do that. And last one, item 116, publicising the work of the Hull Valley Parish Council. Assistant clerk to update on planned activity.
We're in grant season, so a lot of what you see going out at the moment will be grants publicity because the deadline is the end of January. We are also in elections uncertainty again, so that means that we won't be featuring any councillors.
I'm going down to Holmfirth Harriers on Thursday.
Right, I can report about it afterwards, but it's the 5th of February. Yeah, I can put anything out featuring councils afterwards, but while we are in this period, then that sort of tends to be what we do.
I suppose my question was, what do you want me to do? Just get some
Take loads of
photos.
photos, please, that would be great, and quotes are good as well, if you can get somebody to say something like, this grant has enabled us to do X, Y, Z, that sort of thing is quite useful, just a quote and a photo.
That'd be if I consider the planning, but
Well, I can submit it for everyone.
yeah, that's fine.
I mean, completely unrelated to planning, the first 4 videos have gone out on social media.
I have, there's so you probably will have seen the ones that were before Christmas.
They're really good.
We're great and we're really pleased with them. There's one new one that I've not put out yet, but the Northern Content Company have started rolling those out, I believe, last week.
So one about the countryside, that went out, didn't it?
Yes, so that's the one that went out last week, and then there were the Christmas related ones all went out before, sort of in the run up to Christmas. They were focused on Homefirth, and then the next, is it 3 more? So there's
2
one
more.
just
2 more
Just
from
gone.
Northern Content.
and 2 more about to
And
the
then
ones about
we'll-
young people.
Then we'll probably wait till spring to do another block.
Right. I think, are you up on budget for now?
We're okay with money.
Alright. So
Well, part
I'll-
of the problem was of the 3 companies we spoke to, only one said, what's your budget?
right,
And when they put their bid in, it took all the money.
yeah.
And the other 2 meant we've got money left over to do pretty much a doubling of what we've done.
Right, okay. Well,
So,
this is good. It's given space for a lot of different topics as well, hasn't it? So I think the one that's just gone out is the walking countryside one. There's going to be a youth one.
yeah, she's doing one youth one, I forget the other one, what the other's going to be, but it's going off at different tangents.
Yeah, but they are more focused on the wider valley. So the first 3 were very Homefirth centric because of all of the kind of issues around the sort of town centre works and businesses that sort of came to us asking for help, and that's what started it. But then there's the wider valley. So there's
The first one by Redback had something like 100,000 views.
huge reach.
Huge. They're going to analyse who's been viewing it.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully it's not everyone in Narren Valley.
Yeah, well, the point I've been making the whole time is that we all know how brilliant it is.
But I know on my social media that people that I know abroad have come back to me and said, wow.
Oh, that's very exciting.
So it all helps.
And I know that some councillors have been sharing it to the kind of neighbour parish pages and neighbour community pages, so they've been sharing it out in Derrydale and Saddleworth and, other places, come over for the day, kind of idea, so that's great as well.
Well, when we met Saddleworth people, one of them, there was a lot of their shopping in over.
They don't go to Barnes. It's feeling, it seems to me to feel a lot better in Hull. in Homford. I mean, both driving through and walking about there, you know,
The month's footfall figures have been tremendous. Because we've got the month from end, well, it was from end of October through to the beginning of January. And yeah, this last month has been really very good. So, shopkeepers seem happy.
Okay, all done?
You don't have to work out whether the zebra crossings are working or not working or not. It's always a bit of a challenge.
They seem to be.
Is this, oh, they are